Okay, so let's begin standing. Today we're going to have a little focus on fluid spine. Um, so yeah, let's just face down um, the long length of your mat with your feet underneath your hip joints. And kind of bringing your attention to your own physical center. It's roughly just a little bit behind your navel. And moving from that center space, let's just start to sway some circles. And let's first bring our attention to the feet as we're making this circular motion. And see if you can just roll around all the outer edges of your feet, feeling every little edge through the heels, outer edges, all 10 toes, and of course the other edge. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, feel free to do that. It'll just help you to kind of sense a little more. Maybe it doesn't. Anyway, let's take that circle the other way. And of course, if there's any part of that circle that gives you any discomfort, like in your lower back, you could just go a little lighter into that area and explore the rest. So I'm actually not leaning my hips too far forward because, I don't know, I'm having just a little bit of tightness or compression in the lower back. So I'm just kind of avoiding that forward hip position. I'm going to really explore this part because it feels like it opens it up. Okay, and then let's just try to hover center so everything can relax. You're kind of just balanced on the structures of your body, your bones, your skeleton. Let's take a few breaths to simultaneously feel the feet on the ground and a little bit of length through the crown of the head up to the sky. So lengthen deep within, and let's breathe softly around that. And then let's just soften the knees a little bit. Feel the weight of your body kind of come into the feet. Maybe you feel the feet even spread on the mat a tiny bit. Please open your eyes if that helps you to keep your balance steady. And let's nod the head forward and roll through the spine one vertebra at a time, keeping a little bit of weight bearing in the heels and the head nice and heavy. You could always put your hands on your legs for some support if you're not quite ready for this yet. And then we'll just roll all the way down and take a moment to just really hang. Trust your legs. Let the spine just kind of pour out of the pelvis. Taking any opportunity you want, always throughout a class, to kind of just gently move the head and let the neck relax. And then when you're ready, let's bend your knees kind of as deep as you're comfortable, bum coming down over those heels. And then let's really pressure down through the legs to pull up the spine one vertebra at a time. We'll let the shoulders and the head just roll softly on top of the body. Almost let it feel like your head is just floating on top of your skeleton for a moment. Always taking as much time as you need here to kind of find your balance and equilibrium again. Maybe go get a drink of water if you're getting a little woozy each time you come up. Okay, let's soften the knees, come into the feet. Keep a little weight bearing in the heels as we nod the head forward, and just try to roll the bones off the spine one vertebra at a time. Keeping the strength and the trust in the legs. Let's roll all the way down until we're completely just ragdoll hanging over those legs. Again, a little bit of head movement if that helps you release the neck. And one more time, let's bend the knees as deep as you're comfortable, down over those heels, sitting over those heels, and pressure down through the legs to pull the spine up One bone at a time, stacking up as tall as we know how. Again, sensing the feet on the ground. Also finding that length through the crown of the head toward the sky. And just once more, let's bend. Feel the feet maybe spread on the mat. Keep some weight in the heels as we roll the spine down. And let's come all the way down to hanging. Maybe a nod yes and or a shake no. Okay, let's take the hands to the mat and just walk them forward until we can come down lightly onto the hands and knees. Now, I'm not using any blocks today or any props, but you could certainly have a folded up towel under your knees. You could have blocks under your hands on any setting you choose. Although if you come up onto the very high setting of the blocks, you need to be quite careful with the balance. Okay, so let's cat and cow. Gently tip the tail up to the sky. Let the crown of the head float up. And can the shoulders just kind of soften down the back, even though we're sort of lengthening the arms. And then let's forward bend. Tail kind of reaches toward the backs of the knees. The head hangs. The shoulder blades are spreading, however, they're not lifting up toward the ears. And then just moving at your own pace. Back bend and forward bend. Doesn't matter when the breath occurs as long as it's kind of continuous. And now I want you to start trying to drive the cat and cow with your tailbone. Tip the tail up. Let that movement ripple up through the spine until eventually the crown of the head floats. And then again, we'll take the tail toward the backs of the knees and let that movement ripple through the rest of the spine. Tail up, ripple through the spine until eventually the crown lifts. And then tail toward the backs of the knees. We ripple through the spine until the head hangs. Okay, now let's try to drive the cat and cow from the middle of the back or the rib cage. So we're going to kind of let the mid back sink toward the floor as the tail and the crown lift. And then we're going to lift up under these bottom ribs here, right? Lift them up. That's the middle of the back and the bottom ribs. Head hangs, tail reaches toward the floor. Mid back lowers toward the ground as the tail and crown lift. Mid back lifts toward the sky as the head hangs. Let's do that once more. Okay, let's pause in the forward bend. Make sure you're not elevating your shoulders. And just give the head a little turn side to side. Maybe a little nod yes if you can manage it. Okay, let's lengthen the spine and then step the hands one handprint forward from under the shoulders. We're going to shift the weight of the body forward, trying to find that nice half plank, so not plopping if we can avoid it, keeping a little lift under the low belly. Shoulders are gently down away from the ears, and the elbows hug close as we lower ourselves down. Okay, so then let's take your fingertips wide and off of the mat. So I'm roughly in line with the shoulders, but maybe a little bit more forward. You can kind of tinker with your position there. So let's just hover the nose on the ground and pick up one leg at a time, stretching the legs away from you. So as you pick that leg up, the foot up, it actually kind of steps or crawls away, lengthening the lower back, I'm hoping. And then let's just stretch along through the middle toes on both feet, reach long. Okay, we're going to push into these finger pads. We're going to lift from the mid-back. Finger pads, lift from the mid-back. We're coming up a little. We're going to use those finger pads to drag the heart toward the front of the mat. So we're keeping the stretching through the feet and the toes. to keep the low back long. And then as we come up here and drag the heart forward, we're lengthening hopefully the mid and upper back a little bit. So just keep moving here. Find your breath. Again, it's kind of fluid spine day, so we can just keep this emphasis on kind of rolling through the joints of the spine. By the end of class, we'll probably be feeling pretty juicy. Okay, let's come all the way down. Slide the hands next to the rib cage. Keep the legs lengthening behind. Let's lift the head and chest, hug the elbows close, push into the inner hands to come up to hands and knees. Now you choose, we're gonna take a child's pose, wide knees for a more neutral spine, close knees for a more rounded lower back. And place your arms wherever it feels nice and comforting and relaxing to you. Let's take a few full breaths. Kind of feeling the belly expand. And therefore, behind the belly is the lower back. So if the belly expands, so does the lower back. So let's see if we can feel a sense of elasticity, almost like some people call your core nature's girdle. So see if you can just feel this band around your lower back and your lower belly. As you inhale, it kind of elastically stretches. And then the exhale requires no effort because that elastic quality just takes the air out for you. Okay, let's come on to hands and knees. And we'll start moving into our flow here. You could put your hands up on blocks right now if you would prefer. Okay, right leg, we'll send it back. We'll keep a little hug under the mid back if this is what is best for your back, right? So this is always your option, or you can kick up into back bend if you like. So let's inhale, stretch into back bend or into length. Exhale, round. We're going to bring the right knee to the outer right armpit. Inhale, sweep the foot up, crown of the head up, or stretch for length. Exhale, round, drawing that knee toward the outer right armpit. Inhale. And exhale. This time we're going to sweep that foot up. Now it's easier said than done, but we're going to try to sweep it wide and take the foot in front of the right hand, but on the outside of it. Okay, so I'm going to come up onto my finger pads like that because I'm just personally bringing a little bit more strength in the fingers and wrists into my own practice. It also elevates you a little, so if you're not using blocks, it can give you a little bit more space to move. Okay, let's inhale, lift the chest, let the collarbones widen and fall open. Exhale, let's draw the hips back, gently flexing the front foot. Don't worry about the knee getting straight. You just kind of pull the hips back till you feel that heel catch on the mat. Inhale, let's shift it forward, lift the heart. And exhale, draw back, pulling the hips back, flexing the foot, catching that heel. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Now let's shift the weight of the body forward into that right foot and heel toe it in between the hands. Okay, really ground through the front foot, but also the top of the back foot. If you're ready for it, let's take the hands up and just make one big sweeping circle. Open the arms, circle them, take the hands down to the mat. Okay, we'll slip that right knee back to meet the left. Let's get your blocks out of the way if you're on them. The hands should be planted a little forward from the shoulders. Let's shift forward. Hug the elbows close as we lower. Lengthen through the legs and the toes, through the crown. Keep that sense of length. Inhale, head and chest lift. Exhale, press into the inner hands to move through hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. Let's come on up to downward facing dog. Okay, so let's soften the knees a little bit. Find your hands, right? Can you connect not just in the outer hands, but inners as well? Arms are lengthening. Let's try to find a tiny bit of a cat and cow here, which is why I have you bending your knees a little more than usual. Inhale, could you maybe let your heart sink a little? Maybe look toward the fingertips. Exhale, forward bend. It's a miniature cat and cow. Inhale, tail up. The heart melts a little bit. We look toward the fingers, maybe. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale. And exhale. Now let's stretch into down dog, allowing the heels to melt. Finger pads press lightly. Inhale. Exhale, let's roll the spine out to plank. We'll pause right here. Feel that little support under the low belly. The feet strong against the ground. The chest is kind of opening a little bit. And then let's draw those knees in underneath the hips. Okay, bring in the blocks in if you'd like to use them. We'll start with your left leg, either stretching long, keeping a little connection or float or lift under that mid-back, here or here. Inhale, stretch long or into back bend. Exhale, left knee comes to the outer left armpit. Inhale, sweep the foot up, crown of the head up. Exhale. Inhale, foot up, crown of the head up. Exhale to the armpit. And we'll take one more big sweep back or up. And then we're going to try to take that foot a little bit wide, step it in front of and on the outside of the left hand. You can adjust your hands. You can come onto your finger pads if you like. You can be on your blocks. Okay, let's inhale, lift the heart. Collarbones just relax open. Exhale, pull the hips back. We gently flex this left foot. Don't worry about pushing the knee straight. You just pull the hips back till you feel that left heel kind of catch on the ground. Inhale, forward to lift and open the heart. Exhale, draw back, flexing the foot. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, let's bring the weight of the body forward. Heel toe that left foot in, and let's really ground through that left foot, also through the top of the back foot. And one time, let's sweep the arms up. Just keep your gaze steady somewhere as we open and circle. We'll take the hands down and slip the left knee back to meet the right. Okay, so let's discard the blocks. Set your hands up a little forward from under the shoulders. We shift. Find that long line from the knees to the ears. I always have to pick up my middle back a little. And the elbows barely permit us to pass through and lower to the ground. Okay, let's take those finger pads nice and wide again. So I guess if I'm to be specific about this, yeah, I'm coming out of the shoulder joint, slightly forward for me feels right. And then I take the elbows up to the sky. So my forearm is roughly vertical, it's close to vertical. Okay, so here, let's hover the nose. Pick up one leg at a time and walk those feet away. Hopefully just dragging length into the lower back. The clothes might bunch up a little bit. Okay, now let's reach for length through the toes of both feet, all the way down through the legs. Okay, pressing into those finger pads, we lift up the middle back a little. Maybe you feel like you could come up higher this time, maybe not. Drag the heart toward the front of the mat. So you're welcome to come up as high as you like, so long as you're not moving through pain, especially lower back pain. You could always tinker too with wider legs. Okay, next time you lower to the ground, let's pause right there. Now we're going to start pushing kind of with one hand at a time. So let's push up with the left arm a little, and then the right. And then let's bend the left to lower, and then the right. Left arm pushes to come up, then the right arm. Left arm bends, and then the right. Let's reverse that. So first pushing through the right arm to come up. Left arm straightens a little bit. Right arm bends, and then the left. Right arm pushes, left arm pushes, right arm bends, left arm bends. Okay, slide the hands next to the rib cage. Really find length through all 10 toes, through the crown of the head. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Bring those elbows close and find the inner hand as we push through hands and knees. Let's draw back and take a child's pose. Maybe wide knees this time, so we stay in a more neutral spine, just allowing those discs to kind of find their neutral space again before we just immediately go from back bending to forward bending. So a few breaths. And again, see if you can just feel the elastic quality of your breathing / core system. So you could almost imagine a band wrapped around the lower belly and the lower back. And as you inhale, you feel that kind of stretch open as you kind of fill with air. And then you can just kind of open the throat, and the exhale just happens because of the elastic quality of that tissue. Okay, so now let's just bring the knees in underneath you, closer to each other, and come back into your child's pose and take a few more breaths. Okay, let's move into hands and knees, bringing the blocks underneath your shoulders and hands if you would like. And of course, you're choosing either sending that right leg straight back, keeping a little connection here, front ribs to front pelvis for length, or we're kicking up to back bend. Let's inhale, stretch into whatever shape you're choosing. Exhale, bring that knee to the outer right armpit again. Inhale, sweep the foot up, crown of the head up. Exhale to that outer right armpit. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time, let's sweep that foot up, crown of the head up. Then we take a kind of a wide sweep to step on the outside and in front of that right hand. And again, just, move your arms wherever it feels supported, fingertips, blocks, palms, whatever works. Inhale, lift the heart, shifting forward. Maybe find a little pressure in the top of that back foot if you like that. And then on the exhale, draw back, flexing the front foot. pulling the hips back, releasing the head and shoulders. Inhale, let's shift it forward. Find that little bit of pressure in the top of the back foot, perhaps. And exhale, draw back. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Okay, let's shift forward into that right foot. And then heel toe it so it comes in between the hands / blocks. Okay, so let's try to take a few rounds here. We could check a couple of things. Your back foot, is it kind of coming diagonal across the mat, or could it go straight back? And then, you know, maybe check the width of the legs here. Like if your back knee and your front foot are right in a line with each other, that's going to get very, very wobbly. So make sure you're hip distance apart with your legs. Shift forward again, connect with the top of that back foot, ground through the top one. Inhale, let's sweep the arms up to the sky. Open and circle on the exhale. We're going to draw the hips back, folding forward over that front leg. Shift it forward. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale, open and circle. We're going to draw the hips back, pour forward over the right leg. Once more, inhale. This time, let's exhale, open and circle, interlace the hands behind the back if that works. If not, you could just externally rotate the arms and lift the chest. Or you could clasp the hands, try to press the arms straight. Maybe take a good breath to expand the rib cage. And then let's take those hands down. Slip the right knee back to meet the left. Discard your blocks if you've been using them and plant the hands just in front of the shoulder joints. So we'll shift forward. Try to find that half plank without sagging. Elbows barely permit us to pass through as we lower. Lengthen through all 10 toes and through the crown of the head. Inhale, head and chest lift. Elbows hug close to find the inner hands. Let's push all the way up to downward facing dog. Okay, take a moment there to wiggle and shimmy and stretch out your down dog. Okay, so last time we were here, we did a little bit of a cat and cow in the downward facing dog. So let's find that first. Heels can soften, but also let the knees soften so it frees up the pelvis to move a little bit more. So let's inhale, back bend, tail up, maybe looking toward the fingers. And exhale, forward bend, coiling away from the ground. So you could stay right here, inhaling to back bend. Exhaling to forward bend. Or if you'd like to take this a little further with me, you could. So kind of get back in your legs. Now we're going to roll out to plank. And then bend the knees like they're almost going to skim the ground, but they don't. We back bend. So we roll out to plank. Bend the knees almost like they're going to skim the mat as we come back. Back bend. Forward bend. Nice and fluid, or as fluid as can be. And then let's all make our way to plank. Pause there. Ground through the hands. Feel your feet on the floor and feel how you connect between the hands and feet. We connect in the center. All right, draw those knees in. Okay. So bringing your blocks in if you would like to be using them. And let's start in with the left leg. You choose, stretch for length or stretch into back bend. Inhale. Exhale, the left knee comes to the outer left armpit. Inhale, let's sweep the foot up, crown of the head up unless you're stretching for length. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And with this last stretch of the leg, we're going to sweep it wide. Try to step on the outside, but in front of the left hand. And then place your arms as they feel supportive. See if you can really connect with the top of that back foot. So we shift forward, press a little bit into that back foot, lift the heart. Draw back, pouring forward. Head and shoulders releasing, hopefully. Let's shift it forward. Inhale, lift and expand the heart. Exhale to draw back, pouring forward. Inhale forward. And exhale back. All right, we'll bring our weight into that left foot. Heel toe it so it comes in between the hands, but make sure not to go too far, right? We still want the legs to be about hip distance apart. Okay, so we shift forward. Again, maybe you can do a little check with that back foot so it's not coming across the mat, but straight back. Find the top of that foot. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Open and circle. We're going to take the hands down. And on the exhale, draw back, folding over that left leg. Let's shift it forward. Ground through both feet. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Find both feet here as we lift off. We'll open, and you might just pause here and externally rotate the arms and lift the heart. You might interlace the fingers and take the arms towards straight. Breathe, expanding the rib cage. And let's make our way to the mat. Stepping the left foot back to meet the right knee. I think I said foot. Anyway, hands are a little forward from under the shoulders. Let's shift, finding our half plank position. Elbows hug close as we lower down. Okay, so one more time. Let's take those finger pads wide. Remember your forearms might not be perfectly vertical, but the elbows aren't dropped down like this. Let's just say elbows to the sky. Hover your nose. Just for a moment, pick up one leg at a time, reaching the leg long, so hopefully we can just create some spaciousness in the lumbar spine or the low back. Right between each vertebra, we have discs, and I just like to imagine those discs just as they are given new space, they just poof up and take it. That's just my little visual. Okay, so reaching through all the toes and the crown of the head. If you're up for it, let's bend your right leg, push into those fingertips, lift up from the bottom ribs or the middle back, and then pull forward to come down, and then switch legs. We sort of initiate lifting off the ground by almost rounding a little bit first, and then dragging the heart forward to come down. So you could be alternating the legs here, or you could just leave the feet on the mat. You could even experiment with wider feet. You know, just make sure your low back is okay. Take one more on each side if you're still alternating with me. Okay, let's lower it down, lengthen through both legs. Slide the hands next to the rib cage. Let's lift the head and chest, bring the elbows in a little to find the inner hands. Rest. Two hands and knees. We're going to find the child's pose. So again, let's go wide knees first so that we don't immediately go from back bending to forward bending. But we'll take a few breaths here in neutral spine. Finding that elastic quality of your breath system. The soft tissue around the belly and also around the low back. And just gently wiggle those knees in all the way together or toward each other. And again, just rest in your child's pose, arms anywhere it makes you happy. Big breaths, feeling the elastic quality of our tissues. Okay, let's make our way to hands and knees. And have a quick look at the time. Okay, so right leg straight back if you like, up to the sky if you like, or perhaps the left hand reaches back to take the right foot. Inhale, we stretch for length or back bend. Exhale, let's forward bend. If you're not taking the foot, let's keep bringing that knee to the outer right armpit. Inhale, length or back bend. Exhale, we round. Inhale, sweep the foot up, crown of the head up. Exhale. Once more, we'll stretch into our length or our back bend. Let's take the left hand down. Okay, instead of going to the outside, let's pull right through between the hands. Easier said than done. Take whatever wiggles and shimmies you need to get there. Now you choose, leave the back knee down and just follow along with the same arm pattern. Or you could tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee off, and try to come into high lunge with me. So let's root down through both feet. With whichever position you're in, you're really grounding through both feet, even if it's the top of this back one. Okay, let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Open and circle. Take the hands down. Draw the hips back, flexing the front foot. Doesn't matter if the knee goes straight. So all the cues I'm saying apply whether you're on the knee or not. Inhale, let's sweep the arms up. Exhale, open and circle. The hands come down. We'll draw the hips back, pouring forward over that front leg. Once more, come into that front foot, but grounding through both. Inhale. This time, let's exhale, open the arms and interlace or just externally rotate. Interlace and press it straight if you like. And if you'd like, pour forward, lightly connecting with that right leg, but not dumping your weight on it. And then we take the gaze forward, the heart forward to lift again. We'll release to take the hands down. Now, you choose back knee down and then the front one, or step back to plank and just find a moment there of strength and support. You can either drop the knees to lower through your push-up, or you could try a high one. Let me just correct myself a little bit there. Elbows barely permit the body to pass through. And we lower all the way down. Okay. Where are we? We just did the right side. Okay, so this round I want to just stack the hands underneath the forehead here. Give your head a place to rest and just wiggle your legs a little bit wide. And then let's bend the knees. So first, let's one at a time kick the heel up toward the sky. Kind of stretch the knee long and set it back down. Pick up one, stretch the knee long and set it back down. So walking the legs away from us just like before, but now we're a tiny bit wide. And we have the knees bent. We're reaching through the heels. And knees, rather. Both. Okay, you get it. Okay, let's rest and then just gently sweep the legs side to side like windshield wipers. Okay, let's come center. Lengthen those legs out in line with the hips. Slide the hands next to the rib cage. Lengthen the body. We lift the head and chest, keep the elbows a little close. Now you could push up and through hands and knees to down dog. Or if you're feeling a little spunky, you could press into the arms, lift the heart, and lift the thighs to upward facing dog. And then we all lift the hips and come on up to down dog. Okay, options. Cat and cow in your down dog. Inhale. Exhale. If you like, you could go through the wave we went through last time, rolling out to plank. Almost gliding the knees back as we find a back bend. Forward bend and roll out to plank. Almost gliding the knees back to find back bend. If you want to get a little more dynamic here, you could just inhale to plank, exhale, draw back, sitting over the heels, kind of pumping the breath. And wherever you are, let's find our way in downward facing dog. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let's roll it out to plank. Pausing, finding your breath and your strength. And bring those knees in. Okay, one last round on the left leg. We're stretching for length, maybe back bend, maybe the right hand takes that left foot. Inhale, we stretch for length or back bend. Exhale, the knee comes toward this outer left armpit, but if you've taken the foot, it's just going to go very gently. If you haven't taken the foot, you'll do that a little more actively. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And with this last one, we're going to release the foot, taking the hand down. And the foot is going to pull through in the middle, however tricky that may be. And of course, you'll just wiggle and shimmy until you get where you need to be. Okay, so you choose, keep the back knee down, or you can lift it up with me, but everything is the same. The cues are all going to be the same. So whether you're grounding through the top of this back foot or through the ball of it, we're still grounding through that foot. Okay, let's inhale, sweep the arms up wherever you are. Exhale, open and circle. We're going to take the hands down, draw the hips back, flexing the front foot, releasing the head forward. Inhale, come into both feet, sweep the arms. Exhale, open and circle. Hands come down. We draw back, flexing the foot, softening the head. Once more, inhale, find both feet. This time let's exhale, open and interlace or just spiral out. Press those arms towards straight Only if you want, pour forward, connecting with the left leg without dumping all your weight on it. And then the gaze comes up, the heart comes up. We'll take the hands down. Again, you choose, drop the back knee and then the left one, or step back to plank. At any time, you can take the knees down, like here, take the knees down, or keep them up, elbows barely permit us to pass through. We come all the way down. Let's lift the head and chest. Elbows stay closed. Now you choose, push through hands and knees to down dog, or press all the way up to up dog, lifting the thighs off the ground. And then we all make our way to down dog. So just any wiggles and shimmies that feel good here. We are winding down at this point. So you can just kind of stretch out your down dog any way that feels good and calming at this point. And when you're ready, let's roll out to plank, but just bring those knees in right away. Okay, let's take a little shift of the hips side to side. And then let's just take a couple rounds of what I refer to as dynamic pigeon. So let's stretch the left leg back. We're going to sweep it across behind the body. Notice I might even slide the foot first and then flex the ankle back to draw me into the stretch here in the right hip. Careful not to get sloppy in the upper body here. Just keep those arms straight. Let's draw the left knee in. Right leg stretches back, swoops across behind the body. We might slide, we might flex that foot to pull in a little deeper. Let's go one more time each way. Right knee in, left leg back and across. Left knee in, right leg back and across. Okay, let's come to hands and knees. Let's crawl the hands forward to find the puppy pose. Let's spread those palms out a little. Just wake the hands up, spread them out. Elbows are pushing straight, either the forehead or the heart melts toward the floor. Let's find a mini cat and cow here, inhaling one way and exhaling the other. And then right from here, let's take the elbows down, interlace the fingers, and just draw the hips back till you feel your elbows kind of catch on the mat. And hang from those elbows and take a big full breath or a bunch of them. Okay, let's make our way to hands and knees. And all the way onto the back, actually. So we'll sweep those legs around. Make your way onto your back. And if you have anything that you would like to fit into your morning practice today, or whatever time of day it is where you are, go ahead and take a couple of moments to yourself right now. If you don't have anything in mind, you could come with me, setting the feet about the width of your mat or a mat, and then just gently swaying the knees side to side. Taking a little stretch up the legs, a little twist in the lower back, a little swiveling in the hip joints. And as you find yourself ready for Shavasana, let's take those arms and legs nice and long. Unless, of course, it's better for you to prop yourself, or maybe keep the feet on the ground and let the knees fall in or out. Maybe palms up in an open and receiving gesture feels comforting. Maybe you prefer to take a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Either way, let's begin to soften into the breath rhythm. And maybe as we breathe, we could just allow all the pieces and parts of the body to just kind of float and ride this soft wave that is your breath. And maybe just give ourselves permission to actually let go and relax for just a few minutes out of this day. Now let's let the next few breaths be a little fuller and deeper. And let's begin with a little movement in the fingers and toes. Maybe roll the arms and legs in and out. And if it sounds nice, maybe stretching the arms overhead and just really yawning yourself open and awake. And let's roll into the side. Take a moment and snuggle. And then let's just press ourselves up to seated. Of course, propping your bum up in any way that makes you feel a little more comfortable and relaxed here. And then let's connect the hands at the heart space here. And on an inhale, let's take the palms up, slice the thumbs back, open across the heart. And with the exhale, let's take one arm over the other in a big, giant self-embrace, rounding and just dropping in towards center. Twice more. Let's inhale, slice the thumbs back, palms up, heart opening. And exhale. Once more. And the humanity in me acknowledges, honors, and respects the humanity in you.